better? How can we, is it something we have to do, or is it a matter of you need to broaden your skill set? Like you see a lot of people now who are stuck in the mindset of 30 years ago that you're going to work a job and stay there for 20 years and then you're going to leave with a gold watch. And that's not the way the job market works anymore. I mean, if you're entering the job market right now as a college student, you can expect that in the next 10 years you'll probably work 4 jobs. Like the turnover is too great, and you have to be constantly increasing your skill set.
Also, with every new innovation, there's businesses that branch out and become new, and then there's also businesses that die, and there's no bringing them back. You're not going to bring back the printing press.
Exactly.
There's a lot of stuff that.
But for the guy in the printing press industry, you tell him that. Try to get elected from the printing press guy.
Well, I mean, right now they're trying to stop automated cars. I mean, that is. I mean, there was a vote, right? Wasn't there a vote like within the last day or two to try to block automated trucks? Yeah. Because there's a tremendous amount of people that's what they do for a living.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a lot more efficient when it's not people.
And, this is the great fallacy people have been trying to fight since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, is this idea, okay, well, the new technology is going to kill jobs and then no one will ever work again. Right. It's like we've had the same unemployment rate in this country for the last 100 years, and the technology is a little bit better.
Teamsters convinced Congress to block driverless trucks.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Seems crazy. It seems like you're fighting an inevitable tide.
Well, I mean, imagine that. Like, how is that going to work for all the other industries that are affected? Let's say that you now have, you're artificially raising the prices of all the goods that now have to be brought in by the Teamsters, and now it's more expensive, so it's more money out of your pocket and my pocket. And that's money that maybe I was willing to buy American, but now I'm going to buy Chinese because I have to feed my family. Like, that's not how economics works. It's just not how economics works.
Is there any argument that they're not ready yet, that these trucks aren't viable?
So that's one of the issues, is that with a lot of the automated trucks, basically, in order for them to work, you need dedicated lanes. Because otherwise, human error is such that if there's a Google car on the road and you're a bad driver, the Google car is probably going to get in a crash, or might be more likely to get in a crash than if it were a human driving.
Have you ever seen people freak out those Tesla cars? Have you seen what they could do to them?
I haven't seen those tests. I actually saw somebody do it to a Google car.
When when a car is on that automated thing, if you just swerve at it, they slam on the brakes and back up on you. Like, people have done it to people and filmed it when they see people using automated cars. It's not done. It's not 100% ready.
Yeah, it's the mix again. It's sort of like how there's a lot of fuel-efficient lighter cars on the road, but they're a lot more dangerous than the heavier cars, because the heavier cars, the clunkers, are still around from 1970, and they're tanks.
Yeah.
They just run through 3 Priuses.
How do you feel about universal basic income? Because that's a subject that comes up a lot lately. When Elon Musk is talking about these driverless cars, one of the things he's saying is that one thing that we're going to need is universal basic income. He said we're going to have to figure out some way to feed all these people that are going to get taken out of the job market because their jobs have become irrelevant.
So I think that universal basic income is for when the technology gets so good that there legitimately are no jobs. I don't think that we're there yet. So if you have a machine that can make everything basically for free, and then there's a bunch of people who you don't need anymore to do work, then you can talk about a universal basic income, because there's no scarcity. Scarcity is what creates a need for labor. So if there's scarcity in any industry, then there's going to be a need for labor. There's going to be need for new labor. People are going to still have to work on these trucks and deal with technology. And the computer industry didn't destroy jobs all over the United States when typewriters went out. So I think it's a little premature. I'm not sure there will ever be a day when there's when the machine society is so well developed that it can take over all jobs. I do think you're seeing a bifurcation in the labor market. So I think people who are in jobs like yours and mine, we're lucky. This is a creative job. It's hard for machines to create, but for jobs that are single task jobs, a lot more of those are going to be technologically driven. And so people are going to have to, work the right side of their brain a little bit. We're going to have to train people in a different way. But my perspective on universal basic income is when you have a 4% unemployment rate, it's very difficult to say you need a universal basic income. It's, again, 96% of people in the labor market who can work are working. So that's not suggesting to me that there's this vast underclass of people who are totally incapable of working. And once you do that, you see what you've seen actually with the disability programs in the United States, right? Where now everybody's on disability. Like, the fastest growing government program in America is the disability program, where people declare themselves disabled so that they can get government pensions, basically. Once you have a universal basic income, is there an incentive to work? And also, I'm not sure that you've solved a lot of people's problems. Like, people still need something to do with their day.
Yeah, but the idea
how many
is
60-year-olds do you see who retire and they're dead within 3 years?
The utopian idea is that somehow or another you're going to open up these people's inherent creativity, and they'll find something
Yeah, this is
they
a bunch
actually
of
enjoy.
Yeah, that's a bunch of hooey. I mean, how many people say like again?
I love that you said hooey. What are you, like 32? How old are you, man?
I'm 33. Yeah.
When you're 33 and you're using the term hooey.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's again, you know, I'm never. I hope I never retire because I just know too many people who retire and they're I'm going to retire and I'm going to golf and I'm going to paint. I'm going to create.
Die.
And 6 months later, they're dead.
They're dead. Yeah. Well, people enjoy doing things and feeling like they're valuable. You know, and I don't know if that necessarily has to be a job, but it's a very clear, definitive test of whether or not you're valuable. If somebody gives you money and you get that money and you're like, look, I'm valuable, I'm doing something, I'm contributing, I got a check for my week's
Exactly.
worth.
There's